What's up, Blade Brothers? Got a short review for you today. Something kind of neat I picked up. Actually found this at a pawn shop. It's a brand we don't talk about much. We got all the new brands, and these are kind of the old knives we all knew growing up. First of all, this video is sponsored by the Medford guys. Super generous Jake Smith. Always sticks his neck out and helps our group and donates, and we really appreciate him. If you're looking for a Medford or some cool swag, go to themedfordguy.com and check him out. He'll make you an amazing deal. Now, as you guys know, I hit a lot of pawn shops. My job has me traveling around my city all day, every day. I live in a city of 4 million people, Houston, Texas. We have lots of little cities on the outskirts. The greater Houston area is huge. So I would estimate there's 150 to 175 pawn shops. And every once in a while I post things to the group that I've found some pawn shop treasure, and I get comments on there like, we don't have stuff like that at our pawn shops, or I've never found anything like that. And I wanted to kind of clarify a little bit. I might go to 30 to 50 pawn shops before I find anything even worth buying, much less anything good. Also, when I do find something, it's never marked cheap. Well, not never, it has been a couple times, but most of the time they have the retail price on there. Now, the way I get a deal is to haggle with them, talk to them about the value of it, pull up some eBay sales, and of course I try to find the low ones, and I can usually work out a pretty good deal if I can find a good knife, and I'll do a review on it and turn around and sell it and make a little bit of money on it. Or if it's a knife I want, I keep it. Here's one I found. This is not an expensive knife by any means, but when I was growing up, Case was the only knife I knew about. That was a good knife. There was, of course, all the knives you get at the hardware store, and Case was one of them, but that was one of the quote-unquote expensive knives. And I didn't realize even back then how large Case actually was. I recently purchased a John Wayne commemorative case that turned out to be pretty valuable. I don't know what this one's worth. I would estimate to be about $75 or $100. In this case, it was marked, I think it was marked $70 or something. Anyway, I got out the door for $30 with it after talking to him a little bit. But look at the detail in that. To me, that is just really cool. This is a 1989 Case XX. And, I don't think anyone ever used it. I think it stayed in its case. It's a slip joint. It looks like maybe they stropped the blade a little bit, but that's about it. The blade's not worn at all. And its case is stainless steel. I believe they have a stainless steel and a carbon steel for their main steels. They also have some Damascus and stuff like that I found for special editions. And I know different decade. I don't know a lot about Case knives, but I did a little bit of research on them, and I know for different decades, some decades are better than others. Like the early 80s and 70s weren't very good, but I think that's the case with a lot of products, like Harley Davidson, for instance. They weren't very good during that time. But I mean, this knife is just really cool. So collectors back then, this is what they collected. I mean, this is they were the Benchmade of their time. They still make them today. I think they're actually owned by, I know they're owned by Zippo, and they make some really cool slip joint knives. But I just wanted to show this off a little bit. This thing is just a really cool, like a gentleman's folder. And they came in these cool cases. I just think that's a really awesome knife. But my best find I ever found at a pawn shop was a ZT, I believe a ZT 0562. And now that knife was sitting in, a lot of the pawn shops have these knives in a Tupperware bowl. And there'll be 10 to 50 knives in there, and they're 99.9% of the time they're all cheap knives that aren't worth $2 maybe. I found this ZT0562 that someone had pawned, probably found it and pawned it, probably got $1 or $2 for it. And I think I paid $25 for it. And I sold it that night for $350, I believe, on eBay. It sold in minutes when I put it on eBay. I don't remember if it was a special edition. I don't know a lot about ZT either. I collect a few brands, and I'm pretty well versed in those brands like Medford. There's not a lot you could ask me about Medford I wouldn't know. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a good look at this and kind of take you back a little bit, 31 years to 1989. And you know, a knife collector probably would have went crazy over this thing. I have no idea what it cost back then. I would guess it'd probably be a $50 knife back then, but I just thought it was cool, so I picked it up. I put it up for sale today on the group. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Hit your pawn shops. Don't get discouraged. If you travel, if you go out of town, hit some pawn shops. Look it up. I was astounded at how many pawn shops we actually have in our area. I realize every day that I still have not, over the last couple of years, I still have not been to all of them. And I can tell you that the majority of the ones I stop in might have 1 or 2 knives. A big portion of them don't have any knives. But every once in a while I walk in there and that gold mine is sitting there. And I have to work for it. They're just not going to give it to you at a cheap price. But use the knowledge that you have from collecting and as far as prices go, and they don't realize that knives hold their value pretty well. Pawn shops think everything depreciates. So anyway, that's my 2 cents and a little bit of knowledge, and just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was cool. You know, we look at all this new stuff, but sometimes it's good to go back and look at where we started. Y'all have a great day. God bless.